When India's lockdown started about 4 months ago, most of the problems were faced by students who had just given CAT, who were in the B schools or who had just graduated from B schools. Now, 4 months later, as we enter a second phase of lockdowns across major cities and states across the country, the problem has now shifted towards students who are going to be preparing for this year's CAT. The foremost question in their minds is whether there is going to be a CAT in 2020. What shape and form is it going to be? Will the paper pencil mode come back again? What will be the difficulty level? Will there be a change of pattern? And what to do during these uncertain times? I thought this will be a good time given that traditionally this is about 20-21 weeks to the CAT examination, which usually happens in the last week of November. We started the CAT Helpline series last year to help students with exactly these type of queries. There are no direct answers from the CAT authorities or the IIMs, and most of the questions which are answered are usually clickbaity side of questions, right? You basically can contact us either through email, on our WhatsApp or Telegram groups. Links are available in the description of this video. You can look at our YouTube channel, leave comments over there. While you are there, please do share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We take queries from there as well as on our Quora profile. The link is all available in the description of this particular video. So let's get on with this. The biggest question on everyone's mind is whether there is going to be CAT 2020. About 2 to 3 weeks ago, things were looking pretty bright. All the colleges were planning to open, and there was an unlock phase. But now, as we go back again into a lockdown, and all the IIMs are going to hold their first semester or first trimester online, the uncertainty has returned. Right? Usually, CAT notification is released in the last week of July, first week of August. We expect the same thing to happen here. Another pointer to look for, which will probably be a forward-looking indicator when it comes to whether CAT will be held in the scheduled timing, is the university examination. Now, you know that universities have cancelled their final year examination, quite a few of them. Quite a few of them are actually holding their final year examination. CBSE did not hold some of the remaining papers from standard 10th and standard 12th board examination and pass students on the basis of internal marks. Right? So there is a lot of uncertainty again whether the university exams will continue as such. Right? Remember, besides just the TCS ION centers, there are a lot of colleges which serve as test centers for the CAT examination. So it is not going to be easy if the universities are not allowed to open. Right? So we might have some problems if the universities are not allowed to open and CAT is still going to be conducted as scheduled. Right? Another pointer to look at will be the IIT JEE examination, which is scheduled to be held in the first week of September, second week of September. So if that goes well, again, more confidence to all of us with that the examinations will be held as scheduled. Another huge pointer towards confidence about whether the examination is going to be held on time is colleges reopening, right? The IIMs are conducting the first semester online, first trimester online, after resisting quite a bit, right? They waited for quite a bit of time to decide when to actually start their academic calendar. The academic calendar is already pushed back by 1.5 months. So there might be some ripple effects over there as well, even though the CAT authority is completely different than the usual academic activities of the IIMs, but there might be some impact if the academic calendar does not hold up as it was supposed to be. And obviously there are quite a few other external variables which are usually not under the control of either the IIMs or the CAT authorities. Festivals, Diwali is on 14th of November, so that will probably affect the dates of the CAT examination. And there are Bihar elections which are scheduled to be held in October end, November first week, somewhere around that time. Again, if those elections are also delayed, that might also affect the CAT examination as it is planned, which is right now, the speculation is 29th of November is going to be the CAT day for this year. Eventually, CAT will be held in one form or the other, either in November or December or January or February of 2021. But the other question which comes up in a lot of people's mind is, what shape and form will it be? Will it be a paper pencil mode again? Uh, the answer to that is probably going to be no. The last time CAT shifted from a paper pencil to an online format, which was in 2009, there were massive uh, malfunctions across the country. A lot of slots were rescheduled, there were computer failures, the software had a huge glitch, and it was basically a huge loss of face for the CAT administrating authorities. Prometric was the person where the test conductors at that time. They had tested it on only about 500 people, and the software did not scale up to 2.5 lakh people, which was probably something which a lot of people could have expected. There is a very famous quote by the then IIM Ahmedabad professor who said that only God can ensure that CAT will be conducted without any problems. Fortunately, for those who did not go through that particular ringer of mental emotions, CAT has stabilized over the last 3 to 4 years. It has settled onto a nice two-slot situation where even the problem of normalization is not there. Earlier, CAT used to be held over 4 slots, and before that over 10, and sometimes even over 40 slots, right? And the outrage at that time would be on normalization and whether my score, because of normalization, my scores are screwed up, or because of normalization, some undeserving candidate actually got into top colleges, or that percentile is completely undeserved, etc., etc. CAT has largely solved the normalization issue, but one thing is for sure: if there is no vaccine, as it is promised on 15th of August, then it's very likely that the number of slots will be increased. Further, you might also see a reduction in the number of test centers. A lot of test centers are in colleges. I know from experience locally over here in Goa that besides the TCS IIM Center, there are also test centers in private engineering colleges in the state. Right? So if those colleges are not allowed to open as per UGC guidelines, then I'm not sure how many slots will be available. Also, you don't want a super spreader sort of a scenario where more than 50 people congregate in one point of time. So if only 50 people are allowed to enter an examination hall, we might not be exactly sure how the exam is going to be conducted and how many slots it will take. And that is one of the reasons I actually said the IIT JEE examination is a forward-looking indicator for how the CAT exam might pan out to be. More than 50 people may not be allowed to congregate in one point of time. So how many examination halls you would require, how many entry and exit points to the test centers will be required. For CAT, you need internet connection, you need proper working PCs, testing those PCs, staff across all these places. That adds another layer of uncertainty over and above this particular layer of uncertainty it is there. So it is very likely that whenever it is held, and if there is no vaccine to be found till that time, you would have to have multiple slots, right? And that will result in that normalization backlash all over again. I would suggest don't think too much about that normalization, because CAT right now, as I feel, normalizes just about right? There is hardly any 4 to 5 marks differential between the two slots, max 10 marks at most. And the level of difficulty is broadly maintained. But if you were to extend it across 20 slots, you have to make 20 CAT papers of roughly the same amount of difficulty, and you have to manage the outrage of all those people. We might see a return of the outrage of CAT 2009 and CAT 2010 and partially CAT 2011 as well, about various slots or the number of slots which are used in the CAT examination. One question which is perhaps the easiest to answer is the pattern of the examination and the difficulty level of the CAT paper. Right, this is a question which has probably come up multiple times, and we have answered that also in multiple forums with multiple CAT members, mentors, etc. as well. The fact is that the difficulty level is pretty easy to manage. I will say it doesn't matter. The paper is the same for every one of us, right? Because IIM Indore is setting up this particular paper, you might see a trend because IIM Indore particulars likes a particular type of paper. I think that is just a simple hogwash. As we saw with IIM Kozhikode, making the paper last year, nobody predicted that VARC is going to be that difficult. Though I did predict that VARC will be difficult, but that was not because IIM Kozhikode was setting up the paper, but because of other reasons. You can look at our past MBA Prep Talk episodes where I try to discuss why VARC might be a little difficult and maths might be a little easy. In simple terms, I just got lucky. But I'm going to brag all about it because I got lucky. The other part is going to be the pattern. As I said earlier, CAT is not an exam which takes changes of pattern very easily. Any shock to the existing system, any shock to the current scenario might not be a great thing to do. I don't think you will have a scenario where people will be allowed to take the exam from home, like what GMAC is doing for the GMAT examination. You would have seen that in quite a few places abroad, it had allowed students to take exams from home using a whiteboard. It's very unlikely that that is going to happen in India, given the problem, the digital divide which everyone is crying about, people not having internet, people not having adequate computer hardware, the inequality between the students who are preparing. CAT does not want another outrage or any privileged sort of notions floating around the examination. So it's very likely that it is going to remain pretty much the same. Even the pattern will look very much the same, but again, the easiest way to answer the pattern is about the mock test which will be released by CAT. So till the time there is any change in the mock test which is released, official mock test released by the CAT examination, we need to assume that it is going to be the same pattern as it is. So what should you as a CAT aspirant for CAT 2020 or early 2021 do? Right. The biggest problem right now is to keep a sane mind. Right. There are too many distractions. Forget about Netflix and Hotstar and Amazon Prime vying for our attention and the jungle circus which happens in the daily news. Right. You also have this additional whether CAT is going to be held or whether there's going to be a change in pattern or any of these things is going to be happening. The thing is, these are just silly excuses for you to spend your time and not study, right? My suggestion would be keep calm and carry on, as the famous line goes from the British World War II times. If you have graduated from a college, right, try to look for a job if you have not already joined for a job. If you have a university exam pending, make sure that you give that university exam the proper due respect. Otherwise, you will join the numerous people on Quora and Pagal Guy who are basically going to be outraging about how CAT is so unfair, and just because my university marks are not up to the marks, I was denied admission into top IIMs even after scoring a 99.999 percentile. Right? So make sure that you don't screw up your university examination because of the coronavirus. If you have a job, please don't even think about leaving a job. Right? You might have heard that, everyone is going to be lenient and, people will not worry about the gap, about the job at this particular point of time. The fact is very simple. As somebody who survived the 2008-2009 financial crisis and have a lot of friends who went through the same scenario, people who lost their jobs at that time do have that mark on their CVs. And as much as people like to say on LinkedIn that, it doesn't matter and eventually life balances out, when you actually go through that ringer for about 2 to 3 years time, having to get rid of that particular gap in your CV, it is going to be pretty difficult. India is not that open as it is supposed to be. India is not as meritocratic as it is supposed to be. So please do not leave your job for preparing for CAT. You have enough time right now, given that you're working from home, you're saving time on commuting, not looking at your boss directly. You can work remotely, you can probably multitask, you can have 2 PCs, one with your CAT preparation on and the other with your office work going on. You don't need excuses to prepare for CAT. Honestly speaking, as you would have realized over the last 4 months, that you had enough time to prepare for CAT anyways. So don't over stress about, not finding enough time. If you could not find time over the last 4 months, there is not a lot of chance that you're going to be finding a lot of time in the next 4 to 5 months whenever CAT is going to be held as well. So please don't be stupid and leave your job. Make sure that you hold on to your job, right? Suck up to your boss if that is required, and make sure that by the end of CAT 2020, when you're writing a CAT 2020, you still have a job at hand. As I said, the biggest challenge for you right now is to work with uncertainty. That's the biggest hallmark of a good manager. Making decisions when you don't have enough information, making decisions when everyone else around you is basically going mad, making decisions by separating the noise from the facts. That is what you need to do. This is a very good chance to test your own management or managerial mettle even before you go and join a B school. That completes this session of the CAT Helpline series. We will be providing more such videos in the coming days regarding your problems which you face regarding CAT, which is not related to the basics of CAT preparation, but any external factor which come up in the CAT. If you have any queries, you can write to us on the email ID. You can contact us on WhatsApp and Telegram. The link is available in the description of this video. Please do share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and follow our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram. You can also reach out to us on Quora for getting your queries solved. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye, stay safe, and all the best.